Well, 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 was it not interesting to hear from our top three, Thanarat Benjan, Addison Ruadero, and Ben Praset Holgren. Now, our leader is Thanarat Benjan for Big Rock Motorsport, and coming in lead, he has a 9-point advantage over Addison Ruadero. And this is interesting because Addison has never won a race in this championship, but he's sneaked up and is almost in championship contention now.
Yeah, Thanarat Benjan has been almost unstoppable throughout this whole championship so far. I think the only chink in the armour that we saw from him perhaps was at round 2 in Ahmedabad, where he wasn't the fastest in qualifying, but he still managed to come out with really, really good points. So he's going to be very difficult to beat here, for sure.
Absolutely, and along with him, we have got 8 other Indian riders taking part in this category as well. The best of the very best from the country are going to be taking part against these Thai riders, and the winner will of course get 20 points for this and 17 points of B2 and so on and so forth, as you can see on your screen. But critically over here, with only 9 points of a gap between Thanarat and Addison, and crucially, Ben Praset Holgren also just 10 points behind Thanarat, I get a feeling we're in for proper chaos because these 3 riders are so closely matched to each other in terms of pace.
Well, both Addison Ruadero and Ben Holgren both looked very good yesterday in practice. So can one of these riders step up and take it to Thanarat Benjan? We're going to have to wait to see here. We're about to have the drop of the gate in the first of our 250cc Indian Asia Cup.
And watch out for some of the Indian riders as well. Shlok Khorpade is in the mix. Rugved Barguje, a 2-time national champion also in this class. There are so many Indian riders that could put up a big surprise. The 15-second board is up, and very shortly we go racing. The gates are dropped, off we go for the 250cc Asia class. It seems to be a great start by Rugved Barguje and also for Thanarat Benjan. Thanarat Benjan for Big Rock Motorsport gets the whole shot, but Rugved Barguje, an Indian rider, is in second.
Another fantastic start, and the Siat Whole Shot Award for Thanarat Benjan on board the Big Rock Motorsports Kawasaki machine. He has been at the head of the pack throughout the bulk of this series, and he's doing likewise right here.
And the big question on your mind must be, where is Ben Praset Holgren? Where is Addison Ruadero? Well, as it stands, the 2 main competitors for Thanarat Benjan's lead are currently 4th and 6th respectively. Here's a look at the replay of that start, and watch that getaway. It is incredible what Thanarat does on that white and green Kawasaki.
All the work was done straight out of that gate. He launched like a rocket.
And we saw a big crash in the background from Chala Sin from Rise Motorsports as well. And that was also Prajwal Vishwanath, the home hero, the Karnataka boy, down and out at the first corner. He currently is in P11, and that is heartbreak for him. But this is the battle we must be focusing on. Ben Praset Holgren in that white and also whiter Moto's racing Kawasaki, I must say. It's not painted green this time. But he's being chased by Addison Ruadero in that red BB Racing Honda. And now, for both of them, they are going to be major competitors for Thanarat Benjan. But as it stands, they are only 2nd and 3rd. And Thanarat is roughly 0.5 of a second away from them.
Yeah, there's a big gap back to these guys, but I tell you what, this has just been business as usual, hasn't it? We've been watching these 2 battle throughout the whole league so far.
Hang on a second, something is off. I don't see Thanarat Benjan right ahead. He has dropped back down to P3. This is crazy. Thanarat Benjan, our championship leader, who walked into this motor with only a 9-point lead, has dropped back down to P3. And Addison Ruadero sends one on the inside for the lead. He has made a big ball move on Ben Praset Holgren of Moto's Racing. And the BB Racing rider on that red Honda says, I am going to seize the lead and keep it. With only 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go, this could be the first opportunity for Addison Ruadero to take a big win. And with that, he will be cutting in big time into Thanarat Benjan's championship lead.
Well, it's all about points for the moment, and this is the best way to do it. We didn't get to see the mistake from Thanarat Benjan, though. I'm wondering what went wrong.
That was crazy, actually, because at the end of the first lap, as we see Ben Holgren struggling on those really challenging whoops, Thanarat Benjan was in P1 with a decent margin at the end of the first lap, but clearly something has gone off. Maybe he missed the jump, maybe he probably didn't quite land correctly at one corner, and both Ben Praset Holgren and Addison Ruadero, his main competitors, are now ahead of him. What this means is that if it stays as it is at the end of the race, Addison Ruadero will be closing that gap down from 9 points to only 4 points between himself and Thanarat Benjan. With only one more motor to go, it is is all open for this three-way championship fight. I quite like this, Lee. This is turning out to be fun.
This is amazing stuff. And we have only got 1 minute 45 seconds to go in this race.
We're following the riders in P2 and P3, Ben Holgren and Thanara Benjan. And what are we seeing here? In terms of lap times, Thanara Benjan on that white and green Big Rock Motorsport Kawasaki bike is closing in very, very intensely on Ben Holgren. And a bit more about their story. These two have been racing each other for years in the Thai Supercross and Motocross Championship. They know exactly what each other's game is. Where are they strong? Where are they weak? Where can I pass them? And where can I make the most of their mistakes? This is what makes this battle so interesting. The leading three Thai riders know each other inside out, and that is what is making it so much fun. And I'm intrigued, Lee, that for the first time in this entire championship, Atherton has grabbed up the lead. He held it briefly in the first round in Pune, but he's been one of those riders that has always been on the podium but has never gotten that big prize.
Well, with just less than a minute to go, you can almost throw a blanket over this top three, Sunil.
And they are as closely knit as they could be. Only 3 seconds separating the top three. And we also need to give you a bit of an update on the Indian riders as well, because the best placed of them is Rugved Barguje, the two-time Indian National Supercross champion in P4 for the SG Speed Racers. And behind him is Shlok Vikram Ghorpade, the young 16-year-old for Rise Motorsport as well. Of course, they are not quite at the same level of pace as the international riders, because to be honest, they've never quite competed at tracks that are that difficult, have they? Because in India, the circuits, the tracks, they've never been as big. They've never been as challenging and as difficult as the ones that we have right here. So it's quite a learning experience for Rugved, Shlok, Sarthar and the others as well as the Indian riders. Learn from the west. There's a crash. The leader is down. Anderson Ruadero has crashed from the lead. And this is huge for the championship. He was on course to cut the gap from 9 points to 4 points, and our championship leader, Thanara Benjan, can now smile in happiness as he claims a big, big bonus courtesy of Atherton Ruadero's crash. This means that Ben Holgren is now in the lead for Moites Racing, and he will be laughing all the way to the back, because as it stands, with Thanara and Atherson's crash, he has a 3-second gap on the lead, and with this, he will be getting a mighty big lead of 20 points from this race.
And just as we say that, 2 laps to go, board comes out. We're in the dying stages here of this race.
And here's what happened with Atherton Ruadero. Just overshot one of the hairpins and then into the... oh, that is a big one. That's a big mistake. Atherton Ruadero overshot his corner and hit one of the tough blocks. That's a rare mistake to make from someone of his caliber and of his excellence. The Thailand motocross champion in the MX2 class has made that big error, unfortunately, and he's now 7 seconds behind Thanara Benjan. And with the last lap of the race now beginning, as Ben Holgren crosses that finish line jump, he will be the best pleased guy on the entire grid. I mean, he was running in thirdly. That is literally the worst place to be, knowing that the 2 main championship contenders are getting the maximum points. But he's been gifted this big win, has he not?
That was a gift. He started off in the lead, made some kind of a mistake, and then he's come through and he is smelling like roses at the moment.
He was never as comfortable at this circuit as he was in the last round in Ahmedabad, but he will take this win with both hands, will Ben Holgren. He's a 2-time Thai Supercross champion, and you can tell he's not taking any risk at all. He knows for a fact that all of his major contenders are right behind him. As he comes across the final couple of corners, Ben Holgren of Moites Racing will be closing in the gap. He was P3 heading into this race. Now, with the big 20 points, Ben Holgren from Moites Racing gets that big win in the 250cc Asia class. Win number 2 for him in the season, and he is back in the title fight.
What a win for Ben Holgren. He has done what it takes to take maximum points here. Thanara Benjan back there in 2nd place. Still good for his championship.
And I wonder what happened right there for Thanara Benjan. He had that big error on the first lap, after which he was actually leading, but then he fell down to P3. But let's talk about this rider, Ben Holgren, a special talent from Thailand, and he's being congratulated by his main rival, Thanara Benjan of Big Rock Motorsport. But here's a look at the entire race all the way through, and we saw Tanera Benjan, look, in that white anchoring Big Rock Motorsport Kawasaki, getting the whole shot with Rugved Barguji of India also following him. And we saw a big crash with Prajwal Vishwanath, our home hero from Karnataka, go down unfortunately. And then Ben Prasad Holgren at P2 until Anderson Ruadero stole it away from him. That was a brilliant move by the BB Racing Honda rider. And you could see that Anderson was on a flowly. I think I've never seen him ride with that much flow ever until a big mistake eventually changed everything.
Yeah, he just let that front wheel go over the top of the berm, and that's all it took. A mistake like that and put you out of the race.
And that is precisely what happened towards the latter part of this race as well. And of course, Tanera Benjan made a big error that dropped him down from P1 to P3. And then, while Anderson Ruadero of BB Racing was cruising, this happened. Fell down on his own on the final corner of the circuit, and he couldn't do enough to get the bike up. You could tell he desperately wanted to get back as soon as possible, and that cost him his first win of the season, which eventually gifted Ben Prasad Holgren of Moto Racing a clean and open window to go out there and simply dominate from the field. He won this race by 4.7 seconds, and at the end you could see that he did not want to take any risk at all. Finally, with this big win, Ben Prasad Holgren finds himself well and truly back in championship contention, and importantly, with one more motor to go, it is going to be fun to see the difference between himself and Thanurat Benjan. Now, here's the results. Ben Prasad Holgren from Moto Racing in B1, Thanurat Benjan second for Big Rock Motorsport. But oh, the heart aches for Anderson Ruadero, does it not, Lee?
Yeah, so much heartache for him. But what a race we saw at the head of the pack. This class always provides so much action.
It does indeed, and we saw an Indian rider in Rugved Barguji finishing P4, an incredible result for him as well. Of course, a lot of the Indian riders learning what it's like for all these riders to be competing against with each other. Now then folks, that was the end of the 250cc Asia Moto. There is a ton of action coming up. Stay right here, we'll be right back.